Welcome to today's Research Business Daily Report with presentation of market researchers' 5 cognitive biases that can be avoided. And then we're going to talk about a tiny Indian company's budding TV to mobile device communication technology that could be a perfect fit for second screen concerns. RBDR is sponsored today and this week by Focus Vision, your single source solution for quantitative and qualitative research. And today Focus Vision is releasing a new study about video variables that can help or hinder a follow-up survey, both its participation and completion. We'll tell you more and how to access this interesting study at the end of today's RBDR. Jayson Demers, founder and CEO of Audience Bloom, has contributed 5 cognitive biases to avoid in your market research to Forbes.com. Now, we all understand the necessity of maximizing objective results, so the cautions that are urged by Demers are continuously relevant. Let's take a look at them. First, the confirmation bias, which he describes, quote, as a tendency to interpret information based on a previous assumption, as opposed to letting data speak for itself, end of quote. Using more quantitative than qualitative research, he says, can help overcome this bias. But he also suggests that you can hire an objective analyst who will handle and interpret the data accordingly. Bias number 2 is irrational escalation, which Demers says is, quote, the tendency to dismiss or ignore new research evidence if it overrides or undermines a decision that has already been made, end of quote. Irrational escalation is difficult to overcome, according to the author, but if you are inclined to fight it, be open to cutting your losses if you're already deeply invested in a decision, and also be as objective as you can possibly be. Social desirability bias is Demers' third focus, and he says it affects research subjects more than research analysts. Social desirability bias leads people to make more socially acceptable decisions when in the presence of a researcher than they would if they had been left alone. So you can prevent this bias with real environment testing, or Demers says apply data compensation that accounts for this skew. Number 4 is framing, and it's another problem that impacts research subjects. The theory behind framing is that similar information will yield different conclusions depending upon how it is presented. So if you're presented in a different way, for example, reversing the order of information in a political ad, you will reach different results. Compensating for this seems simple enough. Test your survey content in random order and you'll get a good fix on this. And the 5th bias is knowledge bias. This is the 3rd consecutive bias that affects research subjects more than the analyst. And it deals with people sometimes preferring familiar options over other options that are objectively better for them. Keep this bias in mind, in particular if you're doing a blind taste test or other objective product testing. Moving on, with the second screen TV and smartphone phenomenon so visible and so talked about by market researchers, SilverPush out of India, I think, deserves your attention. Hitesh Chalwa and Mudit Seth have a technology that is launching that will enable your TV to communicate with your mobile phone. It will identify the commercials you may be watching on TV and actually send that information to the phone. SilverPush, according to LiveMint.com's Shushi Bansal, embeds an audio beacon into each commercial, which is quietly captured by some of apps that are typically already downloaded into a mobile phone. SilverPush empowers the interaction and collects information like the city where the ad was viewed, the channel and the time that it was viewed, the creative that was actually seen, and the type of device it captured the commercial viewing. The inventors are collaborating with several advertisers in varied industries, and they claim that SilverPush has already shown that it can help advertisers target consumers better. That's your Research Business Daily Report. We've been sponsored by Focus Vision, your single source solution for quantitative and qualitative research. Focus Vision and AOL have just released a white paper which describes and analyzes their study into surveys that are a follow-up to videos. Now, considering how hot video consumption is, this is, I believe, a compelling piece of research for any researcher who's even thinking about posing questions to respondents after they watch a particular video, whether it's on a PC, a mobile device, or something else. Look for the link to this study in today's RBDR, both in our email and in the description box underneath the video. We hope you have a great research day, and of course, we hope that you'll be back here to join us tomorrow.